And I was just, this is what I was trying to say earlier. This is when my mom like really pulled me through it, because she's run so many marathons that she knows that like that mental that you have to get through something when it's like a really hard race like that. So I think she saw where I was, and I finally told her after a little while, kind of after I had gotten a little bit over that wall, which was like towards the end of the third loop. So after we got onto the fourth loop, I said to her, like, I am like in a really bad place right now. And she was like, we got this. And she was in front of me for part of it. Like once we started going on the downhill again, after we had gone up that really long 1.5 miles, she just like got in front of me, and I just like stared at her feet, and I was literally just like, I wasn't even a person. I was just this like body that was following my mom, and it was really, really hard. And my left knee was hurting really bad, and yeah. So I think with like 1 mile left, I got really emotional, and but it was like the longest mile of my life, because we're still kind of going on that downhill, and it was just so painful after that long, and then to have to run downhill on this trail, I was just like, this is the longest mile of my life. And I was just like, we're so close. And I was saying that like, because I was running, but it was really just, at some points, my mom was walking. Like, that was the thing. Like, I didn't do enough walking training. So, like, I had to keep running. Like, physically, my body would hurt more to walk than it did to make the motion like I was running, even though I was running slower than my mom could walk. Because when we were kind of going on the downhill, she was beside me at some points walking, and I was running. Yeah, I was in so much pain, and I had been nauseous like the last 3 or 4 miles, just like this wave of nausea, like I was gonna vomit. And I finally said something to my mom. I was like, I'm really super nauseous, and she's like, yeah. And for like the last mile, she was kind of coaching me, telling me like, this is how you're gonna feel when you finish, and she's like, you're gonna be so relieved, but like you can't stop, you can't come to like a dead halt when you're done, or you're going to vomit. And as we got closer, and we could start to see like my boyfriend and my friends and my dad, and where the finish line was supposed to be, like they took the finish line down because it took us so long. So there wasn't even actually a finish line at my first marathon. But as we got closer, we were excited, and we sped up a little. So we were running like a 12-minute mile instead of like a 14. And she was like, don't speed up too much. You'll throw up that way too. And I think somewhere around like a 1/2 mile left, she's like, when you finish, you're just going to want to sit down, and your legs are going to hurt like worse than, like, this is nothing. She was like, you're going to feel like you were dying. Your legs are just going to be screaming. And she's like, so you're going to want to sit down, but don't sit down for too long. You need to stand up and try to walk around. And it was so nice to have my mom with me, and that all the experience that she had. And yeah, so we finished in 6:26:38, and it was like a 15:11 pace. And when we finished, I kept like running, and then I slowed down to a trot, and I walked around. So I finished, and I made this like big kind of circle, and I turned around, and I saw my mom, because she was kind of behind me, and we started crying. It was super, like, it was such a special thing to have that experience with her, and it sucked. It was so hard. It was like one of the hardest marathons she's ever done, but I'm glad that I got to run my first one with her, because it was mentally a lot harder than I thought it would be. So I'm glad I had her with me, because I don't think I would have done it otherwise. Because I was ready to quit after like 16 miles. So yeah. Oh. So the rest of the day was really good. We came home and we took showers, and my boyfriend called a cab, and we went downtown. We picked up my friend. We went to this bar, and I've had this burger that I got. I've had it, I don't know, like 20 times, and this was like the best it ever was. And yeah, and we had some beers, but then we just came home and had some more beers, and we all just like talked a lot. And right when I finished, my boyfriend, he sat down next to me and asked me if I felt different, because that was the thing I'd been saying all week, like, I'm gonna be a different person on Saturday. And he was like, "Do you feel different?" And I still can't even really express it, like how hard that was, and how, I don't know how I got through it because of my mom. Like, I got through it partly because I had trained a lot, and so I was, ready for it, but I wasn't like mentally ready for it because it was a lot harder than the terrain that I had been training on. So I really, I got through it because of her, and yeah, I felt different, but it was also just like, I don't even know how I felt, and I still don't really know how I feel. And I'm definitely addicted now. I signed up for my next marathon the next morning. That's in February, so it was definitely an experience. I'm glad I got to have it with my mom. And I don't really even, you can't remember pain, so I don't really mind now that it was so hard, because I got to get through it with my mom. And I got to prove to myself that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. And yeah, so that was my first full marathon, Flagstaff Marathon 2012. And I talked about this on my blog after the earrings that my mom got me. And I was so emotional, so that when she gave them to me, she kind of like gradually told me what it meant. And so she was like, "So I got you these earrings," and she handed them to me, and she was like, "Well, I didn't actually get them for you." When she said that when she ran a marathon, her father, so my grandfather, got her a pair of 26.2 earrings, and they're gold, and she didn't really like them, so she ordered this pair, and she's kept them like that whole time. Because she never wore them, she ended up wearing the ones that her dad got her. And at first they were in her backpack, her Nathan pack, and when she ditched her pack after the 10K, she took him out of her pack and put him in her little pocket on her tights, and she carried him with her the whole way. And so, when she gave them to me, she was like, "Well, I got these for you, kind of." And then she explained how she had carried them the whole way, and we just started crying. And I can't even wear them because my ears are gauged, so I think I'm gonna get my ears pierced again. And then the last thing is the medal. I just wanted to show that. I think it's really, really pretty. It has that little sparkly cubic zirconia thing at the bottom. It says like finisher on the necklace part of it, and on the back it has all the distances, and it says finisher. I think it's really, really pretty. And it has like the Arizona colors on it. That's what the red and yellow and the blue. Yeah, so I will never forget that day. There you have it. I'm sorry this is so long. I think I'm going to have to upload it in 2 pieces, but thank you for watching.